Hello, I am Mark With A Cee. Today I would like to discuss...
Wow! Too many edits. I need more edits. I need edits on every shit! Green screen. Slavery. Globalists. Eggs. Fuck, I'm so bored of slavery already! Last time, I was talking about why globalists hate nationalism. Nationalism makes you and your culture stronger, and they don't want you to be strong, because being strong makes you harder to control. The reason they even care if you're easy to control is because eventually the middle class overwhelms the ruling class. Every time, ever, in every society, in all history, has that happened. Keeping the middle class weak is the only way to prevent that. They want to protect themselves and their position. They don't care how proud you are if your country or your culture are weak. It's only the ones that could be a threat to them that they care about. And that's really it. But there was something I forgot. I was going to make a video about wage slavery, which is essentially an oligopolization of necessary products. But then this happened. Mark, 8 subs.
Kelly, are you okay? Say, Kelly, are you okay? Are you okay, Kelly? You've been hit by, you've been struck by a fucked up movie.
Oh, it's still one of my favorite songs. 8 subs. The gospel according to Mark with a C, he is I and I am he? Wait a minute. He is I am he? Oh yeah, I forgot I had a microphone. Got a new sub. And immediately after posting my last video, he had these questions.
I want to know why. Why does Disney Lucasfilm hate family so much? Why do they hate family so much? That's my question. And why is it so important to have images of homosexuality and alternate lifestyles in children's movies?
And that reminded me, I totally forgot of another aspect of destroying the middle class. They also hate your family. Your family specifically, or the idea of the family? Yes, destroying the family? Well, who's doing that and why?
Few dozen families!
Globalists. For the same reasons they hate your pride, they also hate your family. It's about control. It's hard to meld a mind if it's proud of who and what it is, and it's also hard to meld a mind if you aren't its prime source of trust during its development. Parents are a child's prime source of trust, and parents come between the state and a child's opinion. Here's an analogy, or a metaphor, I don't care. Digitize! Ah! The basic structure of a family is this. 2 humans breed and raise the ugly baby, I mean the baby. So you got a mother, a father, and a baby. Ugh. The parents teach the baby, and then send it out into society. Now because the baby grows with the parents from the start, and for at least most of its development is under the direct care of the parents are the hub of the child's mental development. No matter what you try to teach a kid at school, it will come home and either tell or ask its parents, and the final say is with them until the child is old enough to form its own opinions. An authoritarian who wants to have the final say in a child's forming opinion, therefore would not like the family structure, as it is the strongest final layer of training for children that prevents easy mind control. Think of good parents as a fail-safe check at the end of the day that can wipe away any conditioning of opinion imposed by the rest of the world through propaganda. So overall, the authoritarians of the world today want to erode the standard family structure. The standard family structure is held together by... hardworking father. In history so far, the standard family was a father who worked out of the house to bring home bacon to a mother who worked inside of the house and prepared the bacon for the family. And everyone gets breakfast. This structure built humanity into what it is today because it works well. It can be done without a state, anywhere in the world, and it builds individual communities of strong peoples. We always had states, but they weren't capable of maintaining the populations without the help of this decentralized worker-growing structure, so it was maintained for thousands of years. Now, for some reason, the state thinks that they could do away with this structure, as if they could maintain control over the world without it. Ha! Fools! So the erosion of the family structure has begun in the media. You see this with the demonization of classical family roles, alongside the promotion of non-traditional lifestyles. Let me start this next section by stating, I don't give a rat's ass what you have sex with. There's only one rule for me, and that's consent, which because we can't talk to animals and children can't be trusted to make their own decisions because they're stupid children, consent implies human and adult. So a willing adult human, I don't give a fuck. If you want to be homosexual or transsexual, I don't care. We're humans, and we develop sexuality as an evolutionary tool. And if in some people a wire gets crossed and they like the same sex, whatever. Now, if the media were simply pro-acceptance, I doubt anyone would care. I'm not saying that racism, transphobia, homophobia, and all that kind of bullshit doesn't exist. It definitely exists. There are a lot of bad people in the world who do a lot of mean things, but by and large, people just want to be respected and have no problem respecting other people. Maybe where you live, they hate gays and trans people, but where I live, no one really cares. It's almost as if this narrative of the racist, sexist, homophobic American society is entirely contrived to force a feeling of guilt upon an otherwise kind and cooperative society. So let's get that out of the way. There's nothing wrong with being gay if you're gay, or trans if you're trans. Nothing wrong with that. I have not and have always not cared what race or sexuality a person is. If you can communicate with me and you're nice, then that's it. I don't care if you're a walking, talking lollipop with Mickey Mouse gloves. If you're nice to me and you can speak my language, you'll be like, oh hey, Mr. Lollipop, how you doing? Yet because I believe in the standard family structure and I don't feel guilty for shit I didn't do, I bet a bunch of college kids would probably call me a bigot. Amazing.
Amazing.
However, it's not about acceptance. It's about attacking their real target. They attack the standard family structure under the guise of accepting alternate lifestyles. It's the same reason that they attack certain racial groups under the guise of being accepting to the other racial groups. Attacking the idea of nationalism, which is individual pride for one's country, and the family, which is an easy way to train your children outside of the control of another body, are two of the ways in which they try to make the middle class weaker overall. The people who promote this stuff don't necessarily like homosexuality or transsexuality, or minorities. You think these old heads give a fuck about or even like you? They just picked a group that's smaller than the main target and then they're promoting it. Oh, everyone should accept gay and trans people. Well, that's totally reasonable, but also fuck straight. What? So who does the mainstream media promote the most nowadays? Well, poor people from different cultures and small marginalized sexualities. Well, I think that's great. I love different cultures and I don't want anyone to be poor. And I think people should be able to have sex with whoever they want and dress however they want. I feel like that's totally reasonable. Oh, what the fuck? What'd I do? See, it would be fine if accepting people was all they did, but they also have to attack the groups that are different from what they're promoting. That's the real point. The acceptance is a disguise placed over the attack. Most people had no problem accepting reasonable people, but now a lot of people like myself are a little annoyed at being attacked for no reason. So it galvanizes that group because now they're getting defensive. That defensiveness is used as evidence for the initial claim of bigotry, which in turn galvanizes the other side. And on it goes until some shit goes down. It's a self-fulfilling internal struggle that can be ignited by simply saying small group XYZ is being attacked. I don't dislike the homosexual or transsexual community. It's just that the forcing of it upon the populace is unnatural, and the only reason they're doing it is so that they can attack the standard. No one cares about accepting people or having gay characters in media or any of that, but it's when it's shoved in your face it becomes tiresome, and when the former standard is demonized, people become defensive, which self-fulfills the division. Now, I make casual racist and sexist remarks all the time, but that's just because I'm not being serious and it can be really, really funny. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't actual racists and sexists in the world. I'm saying that in America, and in general the Western world, it's much, much less of an issue to the average person than the media would lead you to believe. Damn Antifa's gonna take my guns away. What, you mean this guy? This guy's neck couldn't fit in the chamber of the gun you think he's coming to take. Yo, we need Antifa, dude. There's like a whole army of Nazis, and they're coming for all of our dick and pussy rights. What is that, like 100 guys? In Charlottesville? If I wanted to, I bet I could find just as many anti-anyone else groups, because in every group there's a small percentage of assholes who are also ignorant, so they think they're the best, and those people tend to glob together because they're marginalized from the rest of the normal members of their racial or cultural or class group because they feel superior to others, and normal people find that a little bit distasteful. So in all groups of everyone, there's going to be a few stinky apples, and they all tend to glob together because no one else likes them. So you'll get small groups of people in all racial categories, all ethnic categories, all class categories, who hate others, and they all stink. Now these people are useful tools in forcing a narrative, as if you focus hard enough, any group can be made to seem like some imminent threat. The strategies to weaken the middle class are to divide and conquer, and that makes us all poorer. Divide by attacking the majority, using the minority under the guise of accepting the minority. Almost everyone accepts the minorities anyway, so if you use that, you can attack your target pretty openly. So fuck your culture. It's oppressive even though you didn't oppress anyone. Fuck masculinity. It's toxic because it's the foundation for an independent household that grows and nurtures its own children that state can't control. They seem to promote anything other than a man who takes care of his family and a woman who nurtures her children. They want men to be weak so that they can raise his children, but they can't just say that. So how about strong woman? Yeah, everyone likes strong women. Tomb Raider, Ripley, but this is also how a man should act.
Who's the cutest?
What? They can't just promote the thing that they're pretending to accept, because that wouldn't accomplish the goal of attacking their real target. Pretty sure everyone liked Blade because it was fucking awesome and not because of the character's race. I'm pretty sure Flea and Chrono Trigger never caused an uproar on either side of the LGBTQ acceptance argument because there wasn't really an LGBTQ acceptance argument at the time because nobody really cared. Blade was cool because it was fucking dope! Black Panther was also cool. But how is it a racial victory? And it has to use the word colonizer like that's not some kind of slur. I mean, they're both very similar. Black actor starring in a superhero movie and a blockbuster movie. But one has race and a backhanded criticism of another race tied into it, and it's totally unnecessary. Both movies were good, although Blade wins because Blade is fucking sick! Oh, calling Ray a Mary Sue is sexist? Ripley much, jackass? No one called Ripley a Mary Sue, even though she's a whammon, because Ripley wasn't a fucking Mary Sue. Ripley was dope! A woman being the dope badass, and not just a horror movie, but an action movie too? It seems they forgot that no one cares what sex or race your character is if the story is cool. But now these things are being injected into us because they want to attack a certain group. It never mattered before, but now it does because there's a target on some people's heads, and it's convenient to use acceptance as a disguise for an attack. Because it just seems so nice. I said before how I don't dislike any specific group of people. Well, I don't dislike globalists either. I just don't like abuse. I'd be fine with them ruling the world if they did a good job, but they don't. When the human race has a single common goal, then we can all be globalists, but that day isn't today. Leave your comments below on what you thought of this conspiracy theory. Do you think it makes any sense? Why else has the general acceptance of reasonable people that most people learn naturally over the course of their childhood been turned into some sort of guilt weapon against Western society? Oh hey Mark, if you're still watching this, thanks for the sub, buddy. Did any of that answer your questions? Disney hates the family and over-promotes LGBTQ because LGBTQ happens to be different from the standard family, and they're authoritarians and they don't like the standard family. So they pretend to love LGBTQ people, to use that as a disguise in order to attack the standards of Western society. Because attacking the norms is the goal to begin with. But if they just hated on the family structure, everyone would be like, what the fuck? So they gotta pretend as if they're promoting LGBTQ. They disguise their hatred as acceptance in the other direction, while they sneak some hate in there, while everyone feels good about the disguise. I think it's to weaken the middle class, erode the family structure, so future generations can be more easily raised by the state, molding the children's minds to suit the state's interests, having taken down the #1 obstacle. Leave your comments below about what you think.
Pile of garbage.
God damn it, dude, what the fuck's your problem?
Vermin Supreme 2020, bro.